The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum, assemble! You're watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from the Hall of F. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, just stick with us. We'll help you take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our riddle inside of an enigma trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You'll love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey, what's up?
What's up indeed? Next, he's our intrepid senior reporter. He's next in line for the cowl. He is our resident Dark Knight detective. It's Oz.
I'm also on cheap hotel Wi-Fi, so I might get iffy.
Listen, we appreciate you putting in the effort to be here, Oz. Because I definitely have questions for you. I want to hear. I have opinions that I need to hear from Oz. So welcome, friend. Welcome.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't broadcast from. They're still building Fantastic Forum Studio, Mid Center State, whatever, Mid Coast.
Mid Coast. There it is. So look, you could be. How about this? You could be FF Central. You want to be FF Central?
I like
that works. Mid Coast. Okay, we can be the Mid Coast. We'll allow it. We'll allow it. But yeah, as for myself, my name is Lawrence Young. They call me Mayor Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. Shout out to Moses Magnum. He's not here yet, but look, if you're lucky, if you're fortunate, if you've been good, if you ate all your vegetables and took your vitamins and said your prayers, Moses might show up. So but yeah, he'll probably be here. But if not, you got the rest of us. With that said, yeah, look, we got a great show for you today. I was in here like, wait, what am I supposed to do now? Listen, it's my first day. Apologies. No, I'm joking. So we got a great show for you today because we are going to be talking to you all about Joker, Folie, Deux, and we'll be talking to you all about Absolute Batman #1, and we're going to talk to you all about LA Comic-Con and our experience there. So we got all that, plus whatever else it is that you all want to talk about, and we'll let you know how it is that you can make that happen in just a moment. But before we do all that, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, because without him, this show would not exist. So thank you, Scott Rubin. Hope all is well with you, good sir. And with that said, we're going to have our intern do their thing. Look, I know that Jay usually handles that, but he stepped away. So let me see if I can find the clip real quick. I think I can. Hold on. Let's try this.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
I agree.
Want
you know
to
you
get in
want
on the
to.
action?
Oh
Call
no!
Fantastic Forum on
Oh
Skype
no!
And join the
What's
fun.
happening?
Too shy to call
Why? Okay, there we go. But yeah. So with that said, fantasticforum.live is where you can go if you want to hit the call-in button and be right now. You'd be the third member of Fantastic Forum. Jay dipped out. He'll be back in a second. But just that quick. See, this is why we talk about how coveted these spots are, because you could have been the third member of Fantastic Forum, but now you can't, because now you're the fourth member of Fantastic Forum. Because you know why? Because you said your prayers and you ate your vitamins, and Moses Magnum's in the building. What up, Moses Magnum? Oh, you're muted. Sort of. He's in the building.
Well, you said say your prayers, and that automatically offended him.
He's giving us the silent treatment. It's uh-oh. You're not frozen, right, Mo? Move.
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, there he is. Welcome, Moses.
Hold on.
It's supposed to look
Okay.
like that. I'm on bad Wi-Fi.
All right, there we are.
Yeah, you sound good. You look good. Welcome, Mo.
Thank you.
So,
It-
yeah.
It's not say your prayers and eat your vitamins. Is yell your metal and drink your protein.
Yell your metal and drink your protein.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Get that Marvel protein in you.
I'm pretty sure he just messed around and made a pass at you. It happens.
Oh shit. All right. I'm here.
Welcome to Fantastic Forum. I feel like that should be the tagline under the Fantastic Forum logo, like FF. Oh shit.
I got
It sounds better when you say it, Mo.
shit. Yeah.
There it is.
I got a flu vaccine today, and
Oh Jesus, man.
So,
I'm sorry. Listen, I was sitting here looking at you like, man, Mo look a little shiny.
yeah.
And that's because he has a fever.
Well, no. What happened now is like my technology doesn't want to work. Ever since I got Europe, shit's not working right. So I'm trying to figure it out. But I also haven't had the time to really just break it down, clean everything, and put it back. So,
Gotcha. I hear you,
I'm
friend.
still working on that. So
Yeah.
yeah. But here
Well,
we are.
we're still indeed, friend. And look, we're just barely getting through the intro. Basically, like I mentioned, fantasticforum.live, hit the call in button. You could be the fourth member of Fantastic Forum. If you're, a little bit shy, you don't want to show your face, or you don't want people to hear your voice, you can always jump into chat, whether that be YouTube or Twitch. We'll take your comments directly out of chat, bring them into the show. Such as right here, we got Taken Tugboat, who says, "How's it going, FF? Just playing some Snap, trying to get back in third place in Alliance." Okay, Taken Tugboat, do it, Taken. Look, if you want to join our Marvel Snap Alliance, just let us know. I mean, you don't have to let us know. You can just go search it. It's Fantastic Forum. Oh no, it's FF Live. Well, it's Fantastic Forum Live, and FFL is the tag. We'll add you because we're not like exclusive like that. We're just like, hey, if you like Snap, you want to play with us, go for it.
I forget that those scores reset, and so I'll be playing. I'm like, why aren't I getting any points? And then I go and I haven't picked any of the stupid.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Yeah, they reset every
week. Need to be better about integrating that. Like, I know all about the season, all season long. They need to remind me about the Alliance, because
yeah, that would be nice. I wouldn't be mad at that. Like, it happens like the same transition that happens at Tuesday is the day. Tuesday at noon. Or at least noon for now. I think eventually when the time changes, it changes with it. So like to 11 or something. But like the thing resets, like whenever a new card would come up, that's when the Alliance resets too. Like all those big things happen at once. But it would be nice to get a quick little reminder, because that would be cool. So
I also have the problem that when you get bumped down from wherever your score was, whatever number you were in, I feel like I want to hold off and not play, because I know they do the thing where you score points, and when they knock me down to the 40s, I'm playing against toddlers. Like, people don't play, and I'll be playing. I'll be like in the 70s and 80s by the time that rolls around, and like, well, now like I'm winning every other game, so I'm not like I should. So I want to hold off and start racking up points.
Right. That's true.
Well, because of the video purposes, I do like enjoy that aspect, because then it makes it easier video to edit, because I'm just murdering these motherfuckers.
Moses is like, let me get my highlight reel together real quick.
Like, I could get like 10 in a row, like,
right?
Like, okay, 10 different. I'm like, man, I should have just done them all with different decks. I could be ahead of the game.
Indeed, man. Indeed. Let me tell you, man, there was a game I played today where I was playing against somebody who was playing the same deck that I was playing, which isn't that unusual necessarily because, it's like there's a meta, right? But what is unusual is that not only were we playing the same deck, but we were playing the same cards in the same order up until like turn 5. So, you have like the Spider-Man emote where he points because he's like, oh, like you point at each other because you're playing. We did that joint like together, legit, like 4 or 5 turns. And like he ended up winning because, or he or they ended up winning because we were playing destroy decks and they had death and I did not.
Oh yeah.
It was legit the only card that we played that like he played something different from me. And I was like, okay, well that joint was 0. We destroyed everything.
He needed that Shadow King.
A Shadow King wouldn't have helped me. Not against well no, because it's death and null.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because it wasn't. Trust me, we weren't concerned, especially once we realized we were playing the same deck. We weren't counting on these friggin' Venoms and Carnages because
Right.
it's like we were like, okay, like this is gonna come down to null and death, and I was hoping I was gonna draw death, but I didn't. If I had drawn death,
do you have an Enchantress on you or an Echo?
I don't usually play Enchantress or Echo in my
okay.
destroy decks because I don't usually need it.
Yeah.
This is the only time, like, not only do I not necessarily play against a whole bunch of destroy decks, but it's like the issue is that he's playing the exact same plays that I'm playing.
Right.
Because we're playing them in the same spots.
Right, but that final turn is the one that can get you. Like that's the
no, you're absolutely right.
That's where your maybe your Enchantress and maybe if you had an Echo in there would have made a difference. Maybe Sonic Teenage Warhead.
I feel like
Enchantress definitely would have made a difference.
I feel like I play destroy decks all the time. Like I just see them all the time.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people play destroy, no question on that.
I'm only playing against pure Hella decks.
Well, Hella is like the main thing right now, I feel generally. Even though I don't know if you all messed with this what's this Misery? Is it Misery right now? Or is it I can't remember the name of all these symbiotes.
I haven't gotten
They all have
Misery
similar
yet.
names.
I think it's Misery right now.
Misery. Let me tell you what's wild. And I'm gonna tell you all right now. You all familiar with mill decks? You know what a mill deck is? Okay, so a mill deck is basically like when all the cards that pull your opponent's cards.
Mm-hmm.
They call those mill decks. So legit, like say you might play like Yondu, and then you play like Cable, and then after Cable you might play like say Gladiator or Baron Zemo. And so you play like you're basically the whole point of that deck is to make it so that your opponent has nothing to play because you're forming all the cards out of their hand and out their deck. So by the time you get to like turn 5, ideally, they basically only what is in their hand is what they have to play. Right. And, ideally you're controlling the whole board. So it's just like, okay, like you can't win because I took all your cards. Right. Let me tell you, Misery with a mill deck. Oh, because you can legit, like those cards I just talked about, you can play, like, I can play, which I did today. I played Yondu, Cable, Gladiator. Then you play Misery on top of that lane, and it's going to destroy all those cards. But it's going to do the on reveal for all those cards before it destroys it. So I'm going to destroy another card with Yondu. I'm going to pull another one of your cards with Cable. And then I'm going to friggin' destroy another card, ideally, with Gladiator, and like by the time you get to like turn 5, you like legit have nothing else to play. And I'm just like, that's messed up. Like,
Mildex will
playing
never
it
work
because
on me.
it's not right. What'd you say, Oz?
Mildex will never work on me.
Why not?
Between Thanos and Arishem, like you're not gonna get all my cards.
You don't play Mildex with Arishem. I agree with you. You're right on that. Yeah.
And then on top of that, most of my deck are shield agents to put more cards in my hand.
Right.
Because sometimes I'll get a starting hand of 2 Thanos and a null. And I'm like, well, okay. I gotta wait a couple turns.
Yeah. That's hilarious. It's hilarious.
I got a Peach Momoko Silk.
Oh, bam. Yeah, that's nice.
I love it.
Man, they're leaning heavy on Peach Momoko, man.
I know, I don't like it.
Yeah, listen, they got this whole nightmare thing happening right now, and I'm just like, okay, I get it's Halloween, and I don't know who felt like Halloween and Peach Momoko go together good, but I think they might be wrong.
They are.
Yeah, I'm like Peach Momoko is not nightmare fuel.
Well, I got mad because like we got Agent Venom right now, and it's like we don't have a Tony Moore card, like Tony Moore art, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like,
well,
yeah. So
it might come though.
I mean, it better, but I wanted it now. Like
there it is. Look. I feel like that. Look, that's the tagline you put under the Moses Magnum logo. I wanted it now.
Yeah, what the fuck am I gonna wait for?
A quick shout out to Tiger Claw, who's watching hurricanes right now.
Oh, dude, Tiger Claw, stay safe, friend. Is Tiger Claw like in the path of that joint, or is he away from it?
No, he says he's in the south of Florida, so they got strong winds, but it's mostly the west side that's getting hit.
Yeah, man. I'm so happy to hear that. Look,
he's our,
so we do
our correspondent on the ground over there. Who
is Tiger Claw?
Yeah.
Is Tiger Claw the reporter in the weather, holding his hat with the microphone? Yeah. We got hurricane winds right now. It feels like it reminds me of the X-Men comics with Storm. You know, like, look, we do have a caller. Caller, tell the people who you are, where you're calling from, and what you want to talk about.
Hi, I'm Hecht. I just want to call in.
There it is. Not a problem. I feel like
he just walked in and talked to us.
I feel like
you just recovered from like some devastating supervillain fight that took you down for a little bit, right? Like I saw the pictures.
Look, my leg didn't want a leg. Now it's legging. It's fine.
The regeneration kicked in finally.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen. You gotta love Latinos.
You know what it was? That fucking rehab place. The rehab place had such good food, man. They had good food.
What?
Listen, the rehab place.
Plus, they tied an onion to your foot, right?
No, because the Mexicans were in the kitchen. They weren't the medical. So that's why I didn't get onions on the feet.
Okay, onions on the taco only. Got it.
No, what I got, dude, it surprised the shit out of me. One day they had caldo de queso for lunch, and I was tripping out because it was so fucking good.
Wait, cheese soup?
Yeah.
Caldo de queso.
Listen, I was sitting here like I don't know what caldo de queso is. Like I was like caldo.
I haven't had it.
Man,
like we call that nachos.
No, it's not nachos. It's different, man.
Yeah. It's more creamy, like more like a broccoli and cheddar soup with the broccoli.
No, not even like that. It's straight up potatoes and yellow cheese.
Oh man.
Now when you say yellow cheese,
we call that
what's
fries.
That? Like a longhorn cheese.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I would like to try that. It sounds delicious.
And green chili.
Oh,
that's all it is. The broth becomes yellow because the cheese melts. If it's crappy cheese.
Isn't this supposed to be a hospital? Like they don't want you to live?
Well, listen, it's a hospital, but they have like a little snack bar, and basically because my diet wasn't restricted, there wasn't like, oh, watch his heart or anything, he's diabetic or something. Like I wasn't
Watch his heart.
restricted, so I could eat the regular food. Unless this one doctor came in, then he had a stick up his ass about stuff. But that's here nor there.
Well, listen, Heck, we are happy that your leg is legging, friend.
No, I'm happy too. Otherwise, I'd be limping around with a brace like Forrest Gump.
Like the penguin.
No, worse. Like it was bad, man. It was the leg didn't want to move. The PT people got it to a point where I could move it, but there was still parts of it that just weren't working.
Like, did you wake up and your leg was just not working, or how did that happen?
It was a gradual over like 2 days, 3 days, because I felt it start losing momentum. Like it was starting to lose strength. That day I could still walk. The next day it was getting worse. So I was like walking around the house with a walker. The day after that, I couldn't move it. Like I had no balance.
No, Heck. Why when you were reduced to using a walker, because you're not an old man, why did you not go to the hospital that day?
Listen.
You're going to try to walk it off with the walker?
No. But here's the thing, and I'll tell you the same thing I told them.
Yeah,
I had the
please.
same problem in June, but in reverse. It was the other leg.
Why is that a better answer? Like, why?
Larry, go back.
Because in June, I fixed it myself.
Larry, go back to loving Latinos. Why you love Latinos?
Wait a minute. How many times do your legs have to start working before you're like, you know what? I should get this checked out.
Look, if it's gonna stop and I can't fix it, and I was in that position where I couldn't fix it.
How did you fix it the first time?
Stretching. Technically, I did the same thing, but this time I was in a controlled environment.
Is the reason why you had the walker this time because of what happened in June?
No. So back when my dad was still around, he got sick. His brother brought him a walker.
Oh,
so the walker stayed here.
Got it.
The kids play with it. When my mom got bad, I told her to use the walker. She didn't want to, so that's a whole thing.
So it's an heirloom walker.
There's a lot of medical stuff around here that's heirlooms.
Yeah, man, those walkers are good for doing dips. Like, you want to build your tries and chest, do some dips on the walker.
I wouldn't trust it, man.
I did it. That's how I worked out in the pandemic.
You're lighter than me.
Yeah, I'm not by much.
But still?
It does wobble though. Yeah, you do have to like put something like a sandbag or something on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust that for me.
Yeah, the wobbly just works out your the muscles you use to stabilize.
Indirectly, yeah. Your we call those flexors.
Go ahead.
That's workout advice from Fantastic Form.
There it is. Right. So, Heck, man, I mean, are we at a point now where we're like, okay, like, are you planning your annual doctor visit at this point, or what?
So when I was over there, the case manager, she told me, well, I called your primary, but like you're a new patient, which is true. I barely got my primary assigned to me maybe 3 or 4 months ago.
And that happens, right?
Yeah. So because I'm a new patient, I don't have a appointment scheduled until April, because that's the earliest they could get me in.
So your doctor who you got 3 months ago or 2 months ago, let's say 2 months ago.
Yeah.
The earliest appointment they had for you from 2 months ago is April of 2025?
Yes, sir.
No, that's ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense.
I blame Trump. He said he was going to get rid of Obamacare and he didn't.
But I have an appointment tomorrow because I was dealing with the neurologist when I was in the hospital, like actual hospital. because I got MRIs, I got a spinal tap. It was crazy.
Yeah, turn it
I'm
up to
sorry,
11.
Heck.
Turn
I hear
that spinal
spinal-
to 11.
You know, the spinal the spinal tap
hilarious.
wasn't that bad. I
No,
didn't,
Heck.
like,
Heck, you
yeah.
don't know. You're in drugs.
And I didn't get no drugs, man.
That makes
They
it
numbed
better.
it, but that's about it. The only drugs
Why-
they had me on was steroids to reduce inflammation.
Oh, we
Nice.
got Buff Heck now too.
Yeah.
That's right.
Incredible heck.
I'm taking my vitamins, brother.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, Lawrence. That's why they just call it a tap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they only put a regular Band-Aid when they were done.
Yeah.
Did they really?
A little
Yeah, they
Band-Aid, they kiss it. It's all good.
Yeah, it was just a little Band-Aid. 'Cause I was
Sana,
like,
sana, colita.
that's see, my mom's not here no more, so I don't get the sana sana.
Yeah.
Nobody
Well,
can.
no, it's your job now to do the sana sana. It's
It
passed
doesn't-
down to you.
Does it work that way? Can you do it to
Yeah,
yourself?
that's it. Yeah. No. You got it. You're the healer now. Like, so
Yeah,
you're gonna have to deal with all this shit on your own.
Shit.
Just like she did on her own while she was still healing you. You know.
I only got the. You know, my dad did the sana sana more than my mom.
Yeah. Dang. That's the
Yeah.
saddest thing I've ever heard.
But yeah, it was an interesting time. Very eye opening.
So, Heck, how long have you been out of the hospital now?
Since last Friday.
Okay. Okay, cool. Listen, man, we're so happy for you, man, that like you got through that. And listen, we're wishing you nothing but health and good fortune moving forward. Hopefully you don't have to go through this again, because you know, and you should definitely not wait if it does happen again.
Right?
Larry hates it because, oh, how you been? I've been good. Just been coughing blood for about a week. I'm gonna see the doctor tomorrow.
Dude, listen, I don't understand it. I'm just, and don't get me wrong, like I'm not one to just run to the doctor or anything like that, because I get it. Like, you know, like listen, even me, like I don't like, obviously there's like a man thing about this whole deal, and you know, I don't buy into all that. Like I'm not like, you know, I don't worry about what people think of me as a man. You know, I really don't. I'm just like, listen, I do me. And it makes sense to me if you're hurt or you're ailed to go see a doctor if you know that that's what's happening. But
Look,
I don't know, man. Like,
a real man doesn't go to the doctor. He wakes up at the hospital.
nah, see, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we got to get out of that, because I'm like, cats are out here dying for no good reason. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like,
No flakes.
Look, check out what Taking Tugboat said about the sana sana.
It's the war on masculinity you're bringing here, Larry.
is that what I'm doing? Taking Tugboat says, Sana Sana Colita Derana only works on other people, not yourself. It's liking being a healer who can't heal themselves. Okay.
Yeah, that's
I
how
listen,
it is. That's the properties
I
of
don't
it.
know if that's
Yeah.
true or not. I don't know.
It is. It's an ancient spell over people.
It's you can only do it to
So
other
you can
people.
heal yourself,
do it
is
on
what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
It's your job to heal others, and then others will heal you eventually.
Damn, eventually. That's rough.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm like, okay. Well, listen, I get it. Don't be the main healer in the party. I hear you what you're saying. Secondary healer is the way to go. I'm with you on that. That's how I roll too.
Is there a doctor in the house? Sana, sana, colita.
I'm a doctor for my family.
Yeah.
Lay down. Sana,
Doctor
sana,
for my
colita,
family.
Lorena.
Yeah. This woman's having a baby. Sana, sana, colita. Hey, bring your walker.
Well, you got when you lay hands, you got to have vapor rub on them too.
Yeah, yeah. That's
There it
the
is.
anointing oil.
Amen. Oh man. Okay.
This man has
Well,
COVID. Get the onions.
all right. We need to get into this review. So it's time to talk about Joker. friggin' Joker Folie à Deux.
It's pronounced Folie à Deux.
Folie à Deux.
Yeah. Folie
Is
à
that-
Deux.
I think we're on the
Sorry,
same
I'm not
page.
French.
It's 1 week in Europe, and suddenly he's got an accent.
Wow, that's hilarious. There it is. So, Heck, I take it you haven't seen this movie yet.
I have not, and according to what I'm hearing, I shouldn't.
It's
Well-
Folie à Don't.
Listen, we're gonna give you some opinions. We're gonna give you some opinions. And look, Oz is like, I'm out. I was like, he's like, I'm not here for this DC slander. Oz
Yeah.
was like, I'm not gonna be a part of this tearing down of the Batman mythos. I'm not gonna be a part of it.
I mean, is it even part of the Batman mythos?
It is now.
Apparently, it is.
Well, listen, we're gonna talk about
It
it. Let's
connects to
look.
the Nolan verse.
Does it?
Wait a minute. Okay. There we go. Thank you.
Comic book theater.
Now, if we do want to get the name properly, it should be pronounced Garçon Folie à Deux.
Is that how you say Joker in French?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Look, I don't. Sure. Okay. Hey. Yeah. Okay.
So that's what I didn't. I have nothing to contribute to this review other than that. So I at least please get the name right.
Get the name right. Got it. Okay.
So much.
Oz,
Hmm.
you're our resident DC fan. What were your thoughts? When this movie ended, can you like walk us through what your like thoughts on the movie were?
The movie or the scene? Are we doing spoilers?
Yeah, I might as well. Nobody saw it.
I mean, some people saw it, but yeah, I mean, you know what? Yeah, sure. Because here's the thing: I don't feel like this feels like this is almost like Guardians, in the sense where it's like there's not like a whole bunch of spoilers really. Now there are some. Like, how about this, Oz?
The scene, the ending scene that you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Let's not spoil the very end. How about
But
that?
I want to hear it.
I know you want to hear it, and we can tell it to you off air. Mo. I'm
I
sorry.
don't like talking to you guys off the air.
You love us. There it is. But yeah, like the very last scene, Oz. Let's not do that. But anything outside of that, let's go for. How about that? That seem fair?
I guess.
Okay.
Uh,
So just talk to us about like your thought process or your emotions that you were going through without actually describing the scene.
oh, on just the scene or the overall movie?
No, on the overall movie at the end without describing the scene.
Yeah. So, and I'd heard some of the stuff that other people have heard about how terrible it is, but I don't think it was as bad as people describe it. Joaquin, when Joaquin does a singing portion, he sounds terrible, but he's supposed to because he's Arthur Fleck. His co-star, I forget the young lady's name, but she might have.
You're so
a
crazy.
future
If
in
you don't
music.
stop it with this, if you don't stop it, really, Oz?
Stephanie Germanata.
Oh,
Something
wow.
like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and like some of the criticisms that I heard, I just don't think they were. I think they misread the situation. Like one of the criticisms that I heard was that the music seemed out of place, like it just happens, which it kind of does. But the way I saw it, the way it made sense to me anyway, was the song portions were kind of this character Arthur Fleck, Joker, whatever you want to call him, processing something that was happening at the moment. So if something good happens, you're going to get a happy song. When something bad happens, you get a sad song. And in some ways, it explains some of the stuff from the first movie. Like in the first movie, there's a scene where he just starts dancing in the bathroom, and it's kind of weird and confusing when you watch it. But in this movie, it gives you a little bit more context, where you can imagine one of these songs, one of these performances, is going on in his head, and that's what he was doing. He was processing it, and that's why he's just dancing randomly. And I think they even show where like he goes into a routine, and then it goes right back to the moment that the routine started, and then you actually see it's him. Like he changes and he feels better. I wish that he would have been the Joker at the start, because I feel like in the first movie ended with him accepting this new persona and just becoming the Joker. And this movie feels more like a retread of the first one, where he's Arthur Fleck again, learning to be the Joker. And Harley Quinn shows up to facilitate that. So it's not a bad movie. It gets a little bit better when he goes full Joker, but that's not till like the last 40 minutes or so.
That's true.
That's terrible.
So if am I understanding you right, Oz, in saying that, like, not only are you saying that it's not as bad as people are saying, but are you saying that you kind of liked it?
It wasn't as good as the first one, but I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. I honestly think that if the first one didn't exist, this would get better reaction from fans, from people. I'm not saying it's amazing.
No. I'm not.
It's definitely it's a streamer. Like, it's not something you want to pay money to go see.
It's a streamer. Damn, is that a term, or did you just?
We used to say it's a rental, but nobody knows what the hell a rental is anymore.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's a streamer. I don't know if I've never heard anybody say that before, but that makes a lot of sense. I know exactly what you meant now. I mean, before as soon as you said it, I knew what you meant. I'm like, damn.
I will take full credit for that trademark.
Dude, 100%. It's a streamer. I love it. But here's the thing. Like, I only make a face only because I'm like, and this is the issue that I'm having, where you're saying if there wasn't the first movie, which I agree with you, like, people's perception of this movie would be different if there wasn't like an expectation set by the first film. I agree with you with that. But if somebody made a Joker movie out the blue,
well, hold on,
and it was like,
any compliment I give this movie, you have to take away the fact that it's called Joker. And I had the same criticism with the first movie. I didn't like that it was called Joker. That wasn't the
right.
Joker.
Right.
But the movie itself is good.
Okay.
If you change his name from Joker to anything else, it's a good movie. Same thing with this. It's almost not exactly the same movie, but it's Arthur Fleck becoming the Joker. But if you've seen the first one, you can see the moments where there's a little bit of that Joker peeking out until he actually gets there.
But, like, let's say, like, if you don't call it Joker, then you call it Taxi Driver, right? Like that first movie. That movie's already done. Like,
well, I mean, but just because a movie's already happened doesn't mean you don't make like another movie.
No,
like, it'd be inspired by Taxi Driver.
Technically, you would call this movie Chicago.
Yeah. All right.
How dare you?
And I was hoping for like a sequel to a Taxi Driver knockoff in a Folie Deux. I was hoping for something more like Natural Born Killers if we're gonna rip off movies, you know.
Yeah.
And but that didn't happen clearly, and I guess you didn't even get that much Joker either.
So here's a quick comment from chat. We got Yasi Sophie. I hope I pronounced that properly. If not, please feel free to correct me. Says the movie uses the genre fusion perfectly. It explains the premise on the opening. It is a complex movie about a complex character. Don't go with the herd mentality of hate. It's lazy. Hey, and listen, that like, I respect the premise of that comment. At the same time, if you're going to say the movie uses genre fusion perfectly, I would have to respectfully disagree. Just because, like, one, I feel like there's definitely a there's definitely an argument to be made in regards to what genres are being fused. And then on top of that, the main thing is that, like, which the most controversial aspect of the whole thing is the musical format. And
not that one of the genres that not that one of the genres that needs to be fused is the source material.
I mean, listen,
that got thrown out the window with the first one.
What?
Yeah.
Listen, wild takes on comic book movies is nothing new, right? What is new is decided to make a comic book movie musical, and how well that's gonna do. And it could have, like, let me tell you, as a person who went to go see Rogers the musical, that can be done. Rogers the musical was a great time.
The difference between this movie and traditional musicals is that all the songs are like known songs. They're not original to the movie.
Right. But even that, from a musical standpoint, is something that does happen sometimes.
Yeah, that's how Glee got successful.
Right. But here's the thing, and that's a great example, because it's like something that Glee does that Joker, Folie does not, is the songs don't feel, to me at least, like they move the story forward in any significant way. Like, it doesn't feel like it, just like, to me, watching it, the songs put a stop on whatever's happening in the movie. So it's almost like a random musical number inside of the movie that was happening. And I won't say random, because yeah, the songs work to a degree thematically, but they don't do enough to me where I'm like, okay, because I mean, I'm used to musicals like feeling like the characters are like developing over the course of the song, and that's not what happened in this. They just stopped and sang a song.
Yeah, but it's happening in his mind, and he's processing. Yes, he's Sufi. I'm drunk. Says musical numbers are at the surface to describe the state of mind of the characters when dialogues fall short. Have you seen any of the musical references in the film? I recommend you do. And I agree, especially in this movie. Like I said, something good happens and he's thinking, and it's like you go into his mind, and that's the song. So it's showing us what's in his head, not necessarily moving the story along.
Well, how does that compare to, like, for example, like what you guys saw here, and a movie like Watchmen, where Watchmen isn't a musical number per se, but the comic does reference musical lyrics and music at certain times, and the movie kind of captured that and moved the story along. Like in your case, Larry, like that's kind of something you're looking for. Like, how'd you feel in that comparison? Like, does it feel the same way, or what do you think?
No, I mean it doesn't feel the same way. Keeping in mind too that with Watchmen, the music is like more of an accompaniment of what's happening from the narrative, which is why, I mean, Watchmen isn't a musical. It has the music in the background, right. and thematically it fits. And then on top of that, it's just like, okay, you don't like, it's not like they're bursting out into a full musical number. And that's the thing with Joker, where like I feel like
Poisson.
It bursts into a full musical number, and it's like, okay, and the thing is too, it's like it almost feels to a certain degree like Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn is only there to sing, because she's not doing a whole bunch during the course of the narrative.
Yeah,
like
she's the one pushing out the Joker in him.
Yeah, but she's you're not wrong, but what I'm saying is how that manifests over the course of the movie is like a conversation here or there. Like she's not really doing anything. She's and I'm not saying like, I understand like the whole movie is only for the most part talking. But what I'm saying is even in regards to like the conversations, like the guards are playing a bigger role in this movie than she is. And that's kind of like, and I'm not saying that necessarily should be different, but it's like she's in the movie more than the guards, screen time wise, but that's because there's music in it, not because she's doing stuff in the movie. And that's the issue that I'm kind of like putting forward, where I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, we want Harley and Joker to have their moments, and those moments do happen in the musical numbers. The other part of this that I'm kind of like is like the joint feels like it's made by somebody that didn't want to make a Joker movie.
Oh, nobody wanted to make that movie but Warner. The first one made so much money, they just put an extra zero on Joaquin Phoenix's check, and what's homeboy's name that directed it?
Phillips.
Todd Phillips. Like they signed a huge check, and they said, okay, we'll do it. And they're talented enough that they can make something decent, even though I don't think Phillips had another story to tell like he did with the first one.
Well, but that's the point I'm making, though, where it's like, if you decide to make a movie because they paid you, I get it. Like, I'm not going to fault you for making a movie for the check, even if it's a movie that you don't want to make. I get it. Because, you're like, dude, I got a family or whatever. Or you might be like, I mean, look, Todd Phillips has plenty of money, so he didn't need the money. But let's say he's just like, hey, I want the money. Got it. I'm not saying you got to fall in love with making the movie, but I shouldn't feel like you didn't want to make it while I watch it. Like, I shouldn't feel that way. Like, I felt like this feels like somebody that didn't want to make a Joker movie. And here's the thing. I didn't know that going in. Like, I didn't know Todd Phillips didn't want to make another movie. I found that out after the fact, but I felt it while I was watching it.
Yeah, it's Todd Phillips' Love and Thunder.
How dare you? Yeah.
Look, Taika Waititi didn't have a problem making another Thor. He just did it poorly.
Oh, I watched it. He had a problem making it.
No, he did what he wanted to do. Like,
yeah.
and that's them letting him. It's like, we're not gonna pay Christos Gage to do it. You write it. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, this joint, yeah, like it, like, you did something wrong when like critics and fans agree that your joint is 100% terrible.
See,
like
I don't know if I can go with terrible.
Well, I'm not telling you that that's what you should think. I'm telling you that the majority of critics and the majority of fans are on the same page, and they're like, trash. And look, you can mess around and say, hey, maybe everybody's wrong and they're just not getting it. And look, that's possible. It's not the first time that's ever happened. But let me put it like this. As somebody who, like, I don't care what people think. I usually just go into something and like I've watched movies that have gotten panned before, and like, let me go in there to like see for myself, because people think all types of things. Like, I like a number of movies that generally people think are terrible, but this joint, I was like, I don't know. Like, I might agree with you that it's not as bad as everybody's saying. I might agree with you on that, but I don't think it's anywhere as good as what you think it is. Because I'm not like, I'm just like, but at the same time, I wasn't a fan of the first one. So I got to put that out there. Like, I personally was like, and not because it was a bad movie. It was just more so that it's called Joker and it doesn't feel like Joker to me, and that's a problem. Like Moses said, like, yeah, if it was called, like, if that movie, that same movie, even if you had somebody with like clown makeup, I wouldn't have an issue with that. As so I'm really talking about the title. Like, that joint, if that joint was called something else, I would probably be singing the praises of that first movie, because I'm like, man, that joint was really interesting to me. And people would be like, oh, it kind of feels like a knockoff Joker. And I'm like, oh, I can understand what you, I would be having a conversation, but like, well, I can understand how you feel that way, but it's not Joker. And here's why. You know? But because it is Joker, I'm just like,
yeah, again, any compliment I give to this movie is the movie on its own, and I'm taking away the fact that they call it Joker. Because I agree that's not Joker. You can say it's Joker, you can say he's in Gotham. It's not.
Even like this is an example, but it's it's probably a better movie than Joker was. But like Man on Fire, like we always say, I was like, oh, that was like a Punisher movie,
right?
Know, like, but then it's like if they would have named it the Punisher, it would have been like, nah, like it's not really the Punisher. You know what I mean?
No, we haven't heard from Jay on this.
Oh, Jay, the bandit.
I refused to watch it because I didn't like the first one.
He watches it for free.
Yeah, I go to movies pretty much for free, and I just refused to watch. And apparently, according to critics and fans, I was right.
But they call that like herd mentality, Jay. Is that like something you subscribe to?
What I subscribe to is choosing to not see the sequel of a movie I didn't like in the first place.
This sounds like review bombing to me.
It's like not wanting to try a turd like that, a herd mentality, because the general consensus is like shit's nasty.
I do, like, I made my decision not to see it way before people started saying how bad it was.
Yeah. I've had coffee that's been pooped out by cats, and it's delicious.
That's herd mentality.
God. So, it was just, I really didn't want to see it. I saw the last movie. I didn't like it. And so I chose not to see this one.
I do agree that if you didn't like the first one, you're definitely not gonna like this one because it's not as good.
Yeah, no, I like, and here's the thing, I think you're right. I think it's not as good too, because
it's just because it's a musical. I mean, it's not like thematically. It's like the first one, man. It's this guy going through this transformation to become this other person, and it's about his mental, I don't want to say disability, but
but it's not about him getting treatment and becoming healthy or normal, right? Because that would be the logical arc.
Well, the first half is him in prison, and he is like heavily medicated, and he is abandoning the Joker persona, whether because of the medication or because whatever reason. And then the second half is a trial for what happened in the first movie. So it becomes like a court drama. And at that point, the memories of everything that happened, along with Harley's manipulations, are just bring the Joker out of him. So when he goes full on Joker, where he's got the makeup and everything in the courtroom, like just complete full on Joker.
Yeah.
So I did have a question for the Mayor and Oz. Like, I know Mayor is a big fan of musicals, Oz not so much. Do you think this movie would have worked better as a non-musical film?
I mean, yes, but I don't know that it would have been much better. Like, you know, like it would have. I think it would have worked better just because at least it wouldn't have like broken up the pieces of the narrative. Because, like, you know, again, like at least in my mind, a musical, like the music adds to the narrative, not takes away from it. And
Right.
I feel like if to me, it feels like the music takes away from the narrative.
I think at least 85% of the songs you could edit out and not like it wouldn't change the story. So in that sense, I kind of agree with Lawrence that made the story itself isn't that great either.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not terrible. And yeah, you could literally just chop off a bunch of the songs, and it wouldn't change what the movie is telling you.
Right.
But some of those sequences are beautifully shot,
Yeah.
and they're great performances.
Oh no, listen, and that's the
Like the lighting, the artistry of those scenes. By the way, there isn't any like in traditional musicals where like everybody necessarily, technically there's like one or two, but it's not where everybody like starts singing the song. It's all going on in Joker's head. So it's either him by himself or him and Harley. And based on what's going on with their relationship, that affects the costuming and the tone and the aesthetic of each of the songs. And those sequences by themselves are great. I think visually they're good. Again, Lady Gaga has a set of pipes on her.
like the like, and I see Yasi Sufi in chat basically saying a whole bunch of stuff, which, you know, we'll definitely, yeah, we'll definitely bring that into the show in just a moment.
I want to see what Yasi rates your guys' review, because this is amazing.
Listen, and that's the thing. Like, I would agree that, you know, if you're talking about from a cinematography aspect, it's shot really well. I would agree, and I do think, like, from a performance aspect, like, the actors are like, I mean, like, Joaquin Phoenix is acting his ass off in the movie, but at the end of the day, I do feel like he's acting his ass off on what he's being given, and, you know, the writing of the movie itself in regards to like the story and what's happening is fine. Like, honestly, like, if it wasn't Joaquin Phoenix, I think we would all be talking about how terrible this movie would be.
I want to give an example because Yasi is asking for an example. The scene.
Example of what?
Of how you could take out a song and it wouldn't affect the movie.
Oh, okay.
The scene where they're watching Harvey Dent's in it, by the way. Where he says he's going to ask for the death penalty, and somebody asks Arthur Fleck, "How do you feel about that?" And he goes into a song, and the movie does this where as soon as he's done with the song, it cuts right back to the moment they asked him the question, and you see his reaction. You could cut that whole song off, and Joaquin's acting there, like showing that the whole point of the song was he doesn't really care. And Joaquin is a talented enough actor that he shows that just in the way he you know does his little thing and walks away. So you could cut that whole song off. You get the same reaction. You get the same moment, same everything. And you saved yourself 2 minutes.
But what was the name of the song?
Something about "Be Happy."
No, I mean, and I think that honestly that is kind of the thing where it's like all the songs, if I'm not mistaken, like all the songs are
right here. Yasi says Hitchcock said masses only watch a movie based on the plot. Movie's a collective work of art. You just want to devalue the movie, and it's what he's saying. I believe is wrong in what we're doing here. What you guys are doing, I haven't watched it, but you're picking out the parts that, again, it's a collective work of art of different disciplines in it. Like, yeah, it looks good. The chiaroscuro's good. But that's just one aspect of the movie. If the plot isn't there, it could just be a still picture of the Joker. You know?
I believe that's what I've been saying. Like, the musical numbers are beautiful to look at. Visually, it's great.
Yeah.
Joaquin is amazing in it. Lady Gaga is good. Phillips knows what he's doing. Like, that's all there. It's just the story, the writing could have been better, and that hurts it.
I'm a Birds of Prey, and I watched it on mute. On mute, I loved it. I couldn't tell the story. It just looked beautiful. The action scenes were great. But again, that's a big aspect of the movie, is the story, is the plot.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Would it make a difference if this wasn't called Joker? Like, if you just had Arthur Fleck, no Joker, no Harley, just call them by their names.
That was Taxi Driver.
Yeah, I mean, it would make a difference for the first movie. For this movie, I don't think so, because, again, like, I feel like the music feels unnecessary to me personally. Like, and that's the thing. And what I was gonna say before was that the songs are all like known songs. Like, they're not original songs to the movie. They're like popular songs, right?
One of the songs is from a movie. One of the songs is from a movie that they play during the movie.
But here's the thing: I can't name you not one of those songs because they're not impactful in the movie. You know, like, what I'm saying is, like, you know, I like, when I usually go see a musical film, I come away from it like, damn, like, I feel like I'm singing the song. You know what I'm saying? Like, a song I've never heard before. I'm like, damn, that whatchamacallit number was great. I wanna go hear that. And I will go find the soundtrack or something like that and listen to that song. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is, the songs in Joker, none of those songs made me feel that way. They made me feel like, okay, like, I'm watching what's happening on the screen, but I'm like, I'm not sure that, like, it's more so like, it almost feels like padding, you know, like, and that might go back to the idea of where it's like, man, like, this doesn't feel like a person that wanted to make a Joker movie. It's also, okay, he's trying to figure out, how can I make this movie, but I don't have to, like, I can get to the runtime I need to, but I don't have to do the work. You know, what if I make it a musical? If I have 6 musical numbers in it that are like 5 minutes a piece, that's a whole 30 minutes of the movie I don't have to make. You know, and that's kind of what it feels like. So,
also,
you know.
Real quick, I know he's gone now, but Yassi was like stubborn about us naming one of the songs, and I literally did, and I had to double check right now because I thought maybe I said it wrong. But "Get Happy" is a song. I'm pretty sure okay. I actually said that, because
I think you did say "Get Happy."
They sing that like 2 or 3 times, so obviously he doesn't know. He didn't Google his songs properly or whatever.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. So I don't know, man. It's like, for me, I was just like, and I know it seemed as though the issue that Yassi might have been having was that we were talking, I guess, huh?
That he liked the movie?
Well, look, he can like the movie, nothing wrong. Yeah. Like, you know, basically saying we're being too subjective in our criticism. And I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not a professional movie critic, and I'm not sure that if you want to say professional movie critics critique movies objectively, I mean, you could say that, but I don't think that's the case. I think all criticism is subjective.
anything short of calling this the greatest movie of all time was not going to make him happy. I'm here praising it as much as I can, honestly. And whatever.
I think he was disappointed that we didn't agree with him.
It happens.
He was disappointed that you guys didn't know where the music came from.
It'd have been nice if he was like right a little bit.
I mean, the fact of the matter is that like it would have been more beneficial, I think, to tell us what they liked about the movie. Just because I guess the shooting of it or whatever, but I don't know. Like
the homages and the references.
And then there was stuff about that you guys like too. So it's like you agree on those points, but he didn't see that.
Like I said, artistically, visually, it's great.
Yeah, I don't even know that. Like, if somebody was like dead set on feeling like, well, I really want to see it in theaters, I don't know that I would discourage them. You know, right. like I don't feel like somebody had to see it in theaters. Like I saw it because we were talking about it on the show, like, you know, because I wouldn't have gone to go see it otherwise either. Just because, you know, again, I didn't like the first one. So I'm just like, But, you know, yeah, look, what I can tell you is this. People feel like this isn't as bad as Megalopolis. And that says something.
Really?
Is Megalopolis bad?
I've heard it's bad. I haven't seen it.
Divisive. Like, half of the critics and people that go see it, like, love it. Like, they say it's really creative and interesting.
Megalopolis?
Yeah.
Oh.
And the other half are saying it's, like, pretentious and derivative. Like, it's a straight-up divisive film, like, almost 50-50.
Oh, well, listen, I apparently live on the other, like the 50% that all think is terrible half of the internet.
Oh, you saw it?
No, I didn't see it. I'm talking about, like, as far as what I've heard, I've only heard the negative. I haven't seen not one person that saw it and was like, it was great.
Like, opening weekend, I checked Rotten Tomatoes because I was on the fence about going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And opening weekend, it was 50-50, love it, hate it.
Oh, yeah? So did you end up going to go see it or no?
No, I decided against to wait for it to come to streaming.
Yeah.
4 hours also, right?
No, I don't think so. I think it's only like 2.5.
It just feels like 4. Yeah, so okay. Well, there it is. Did we lose Oz in regards to Oh no, Oz is back. Okay, cool. All right, Oz, why don't you go ahead and rate this joint, man? What would you rate Joker Folie à Deux?
I'm probably gonna have to go with a 3. I don't regret that I saw it. I regret a little that I paid full price to see it. But I'm glad my wife didn't want to go, so I didn't have to pay for her.
But how are you gonna have a Folie à Deux with only a trois? You and like you and them two, it should be a Folie à quatre.
Wait, what?
He lost me too.
He only had he's enjoying the movie. That means 4.
It's okay. I can do the popcorn trick on myself.
Oh jeez. Oh my god.
And that's my folly. And then I say adieu.
So
I give that joke a 5.
There it is. Yeah, I gotta give it like I think like a 2. I didn't like it. So I'm gonna give it a 2. Yeah. And what do you all want to rate the review? What about you, Heck? What are you rating the review?
I'm gonna rate the review with the inclusion of Yasi a 4.
There it is.
Wait,
Got
did
it.
he bring us down or up?
Up because he kind of
Up.
sold the movie on me.
Damn, somebody contact Yossi. We need to get him on the show.
There it is. Call in, Yossi. Call back. Yossi was like, I'm getting out of here. He's like, peace. There it is.
I can tell he's getting more and
what
more
would you rate the
frustrated.
review?
He's
I
getting
don't
more-
rate reviews, but
Oh,
do.
damn, Joe.
I do appreciate like your points of view. So that was. I feel good in my decision to not see it.
Okay. And Moses Magnum, what would you rate the review?
Yeah, much like Yasi, the longer you went, the less I wanted to put on. And the shorter and shorter the comments got. So yeah, the review itself is a 5, but it's like, okay. I know. I wish you would have told me what the ending was. So that
I looked it up.
Yeah, what is it?
I mean, they don't want to say, but
Yeah, but what do you care what they want? Yeah.
Yeah, listen. We could tell you as soon as the show's over, Moses.
No, I don't want to. We have more important things to talk about off air.
We're gonna keep it moving.
Why don't we just
Can I give a hint?
A spoiler alert?
How
We've
about
done the
this?
review. We can do a spoiler alert. It's gonna take like a minute.
Not even.
You can hit the skip ahead button like 2 or 3 times and you're fine.
Hey, y'all do what you want, man. I'm just out here trying to make the show, palatable for the audience. That's all.
Well,
Okay,
clearly
so-
it's not even palatable for the audience that did want to be here. He left.
Okay, so spoiler alert for the ending. So honestly, I
you
think
don't wanna hear
the true
this.
ending is in the courtroom, and this scene I think is like the after the credits, but without credits. Heath Ledger shows up.
Heath Ledger doesn't show up.
Heath Ledger shows up. He's disappointed that Arthur Fleck doesn't want to be Joker anymore. Stabs him to death, and then gives himself the scars, and that's how he got the scars in the movie.
That's not. That's
Dude,
not
he looked like
necessarily the case.
looked like a young Heath Ledger. He had the laugh.
Now I want to see the movie.
Oh,
Just the last
that's
10
ridiculous.
minutes. Watch the last
That's
10,
ridiculous.
15 minutes.
Please don't go see the movie for that take.
Well,
Look,
you didn't want to tell me. I have to take.
Listen,
Yeah.
I
What do you think it was?
I mean, listen. Obviously, there's like a bit of the allusion to that, but I don't think it's Heath Ledger's Joker.
Then how did
Like,
he get those
it's-
scars?
You think it's Zaz?
No, it's not. It's just listen.
I don't want no Batman
Listen,
tie-in with the Joker.
Phillips didn't want to make a Joker movie. He's not gonna mess around and tie it into like actual Batman continuity. First of all, it like from a timing perspective, it doesn't even make sense. Like it's like from like chronologically, like it wouldn't make sense because for that to be Heath Ledger's Joker, that would mean that you'd have to be like an adult Batman at that time.
No, that was a young kid. You add the good 15, 16 years to him, he's still going to look fairly Heath Ledger-like.
Heath Ledger's Joker and that Batman were like the same age.
Nah, you just think that because of the makeup.
What?
You don't know how old Heath Ledger's Joker was supposed to be.
He's not old.
He's not going to be that old. If let's say this guy is like 22.
He ain't that young.
You add 15 years to it, that puts young Bruce Wayne in his early 20s around the time he starts doing Batman stuff. And that puts this Joker at what, 35, 37? Hell, add a couple more years, make him 40. He's still a young looking dude. And on top of that, he grows his hair out to look exactly like Joaquin Phoenix's did. Like that's the same haircut Heath Ledger had.
I don't think that's the case, but hey, listen, if that makes you feel better about the movie, then That's fair.
Oh no, it doesn't. That actually was a strike against it because I didn't like that.
But yeah. So, all right, you guys ready to talk about some absolute Batman? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Comic book.
Review.
Comic book.
Like review.
Well, not like that, but like.
All right. Absolute Batman. Number 1 came out today. And so I don't know who's feeling like they want to talk and tell us about what absolute Batman is.
You.
Me? Okay, listen.
I did not know this was an Elseworld. I thought this was going to be related to the
main continuity Batman?
Yeah.
Oh, see, now Oz, you should know this though, because we've talked about this before. Like,
We talked about it to Scott Snyder about
I
it.
was drunk.
Scott,
Remember,
he told us the first issue.
Lawrence got me loaded that day.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, so listen up, Oz. Absolute Batman, or I should say, the absolute line for DC is basically DC Comics's, basically their version of what Marvel has with the Ultimate Universe. So it's like its own universe that will be interconnected, but it's a universe that exists outside of the main DC continuity, and it reimagines the characters. And so the first solo book to come out in this line is Absolute Batman. And it's written by Scott Snyder. It has art from Nick Dragotta, colors by Frank Martin, letters from Clayton Cowles. And like I mentioned, it's a reimagining of the Batman mythos, and it makes it so that this is not a Bruce Wayne that's born into privilege. It's Bruce Wayne who is actually like, I guess I want to say maybe like lower middle class Bruce Wayne.
More so.
Not even an orphan.
Yeah, that's true.
He's not,
too.
You know what? He's not Bruce Wayne. He's McGinnis.
I mean, I can see that a little bit. Yeah, I can see that. Like, he has a Terry McGinnis-esque background. But it with the exception, of course, in that, you know, Terry McGinnis like inherited a lot, and this is a homegrown Batman. So it's like everything he has, he developed himself. So there's that important distinction. But you know, it's a Batman who didn't have all the privileges of the main continuity Batman, but still decided, because of things that happened in his life, to fight crime and try to like take his city back and make things better for the people of Gotham. So yeah, we can start there.
I feel like a fool. I've been made a fool by DC. I've explained to everybody, including Lloyd. I had an extensive conversation with Lloyd at Comic-Con about Absolute Batman. Look, the big event in DC right now is called Absolute Power. So
Correct.
when your next set of character books for Justice League characters is the Absolute line, what am I supposed to think? And so I'm sitting there telling Lloyd, like, yeah, they've all lost their powers, and they're going to be like these side stories. They're going to have Absolute Batman, which should be the best one because he doesn't need powers, and he's stepping up his game. He's got a battle axe, and now I've been made a fool. These are Elseworlds. This is Batman Folie absolute.
so Oz, given that you were walked into this book expecting something completely different than what it actually ended up being,
after they read it to you at a bar by the guy that wrote it,
how did you feel about reading this issue?
I figured it out pretty quick because page 1, Alfred Pennyworth shows up and he's dead.
Right.
So, it's another retelling, and I've read so many retellings at this point. It's an interesting concept of, because it also looks like they're making the privileged one be the Joker, which, I mean, he should be Batman's opposite, the other side of the coin. So I like that aspect. I want to see more with. It looks like he grew up with a lot of the villains. Like he's hanging out with Killer Croc, and they talk about Oz and Selina. So I'd like to see how that dynamic works now, and whether they stay on, because he still has his ideals of he won't kill, and that actually plays like a big role in the first book. So I want to see more, especially now that I know what I'm looking at, and I might be a little bit more interested in some of the other books and see what they have to say. You said it gets connected to the current universe, so I'd like to see how that happens and how these.
Oh, you talking about Absolute Batman?
Yeah.
No. I'm not saying it connects to the current universe.
They connect to each other, like all the absolutes.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. It's like its own pocket universe where they'll be connected to each other. Yes.
Yeah, I believe it's the DC All In, because that's what I saw on the cover. Is that what they're calling it?
Yeah, but I'm not even certain if All In
DC
is
balls deep.
Oh,
it felt like that. It hurt.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if All In is an initiative that's specific to the Absolute line, or if All In might still be like a comics wide thing for the company in this moment. So I can't say for that.
This is the only book I've seen with the All In on it.
Got it. Yeah. So okay. Jay, how'd you feel about Absolute Batman?
Oh, I love this book. Especially the art. Like, the art is amazing. Very striking, very dynamic. And I like the writing. I know we recently read a retelling of the Batman mythos. First night, I think it was.
Oh yeah.
And I just couldn't really get into it. Which I thought might have been the writing. And this, I just got into it immediately. Like, just really good.
Okay. Cool. That's cool. Yeah, Mo, you got to check this out, right?
Yeah, I read it.
What do you think?
I mean, again, I loved it. I did realize that he, Scott Snyder is a pro, because he told us that, like, he read it to us essentially, and then he left some stuff out. So I'm like experiencing, even though I've seen the art and everything, I'm still experiencing it for the first time. So aside from that, I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I don't feel like I've already read it. And then it does, like Joe said, the art is dynamic. And that back kick, when he gives Alfred that back kick, I was like, damn, like that's just like hardcore, like that, I love it. And then the battle axe, seeing it again in full color, is like, so it's a fresh take, and then like we're talking about these Joker movies, it's like, yeah, you're trying to change them, but you're not giving it the fresh take it deserves for a character like that, you know? And this is a Batman story that they changed, which, like, by all intents and purposes, if a movie did this, we could probably, like, hate on it and then really realize that it's this fresh take is kind of cool, you know?
Oh yeah.
It still
Yeah,
holds on to, like, some of the things that just make it the spirit of Batman, you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, and that was definitely my thought process while reading this too, where I'm like, okay, yeah, this is obviously doing a lot of things very differently than what we're used to for Batman, but at the same time, it feels like Batman, and that's kind of wild, just because it definitely does some things like it has some drastic changes, but it still manages to feel like the character, which is really kind of like the essence of the character. And so that's pretty cool. Also too, man, like, I don't know if the credit goes to Scott Snyder or Nick Dragotta, but it has, like, at least in my eyes, and I might be wrong. Listen, I don't feel like I'm wrong here. It invokes the spirit of Batman Year One in, like, a couple of scenes, and it, to me, I'm like, I can't imagine that was accidental, and that's pretty cool. But not only does it invoke like the spirit in regards to, like, I mean, and I'll say, like, that's primarily visually, but what I know is that sometimes comic writers will tell an artist, like, hey, reference this. So, I don't know, like, who to give more credit to. Ultimately, it's going to be both of them that get the credit, because whether it was Scott Snyder like writing a scene with Alfred on a motorbike and Dragotta just being like, let me reference Batman Year One for that. That's amazing. Or whether it's Snyder telling specifically, like, hey, use this as the reference, and Dragotta executing, excellently enough for somebody to look at it and be like, okay, if you've read Batman Year One, you could look at that and be like, oh, like, that invokes that scene to me. Like, I didn't know that was going to be the case, but I was, like, sitting here, like, not only did it feel like it to me, but then that immediately put me in the mindset of, like, okay, I thought I was looking at Bruce Wayne, and then it turned out to be somebody else, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And it did, like, so that happens again, similarly in the gym scene, where I feel like, okay, I thought it kind of makes you feel like you're looking at Bruce Wayne, and it's like, nah, that's not Bruce Wayne. This is Bruce Wayne, and that kind of makes it, like, it makes that scene a little bit more impactful, because it's like, okay, like, like, we're out here, like, trying to, like, emphasize, like, this is not the Batman that you think you know. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. Like, it's interesting, the changes they're making. So, Oz, how do you feel about the art?
It's fine for the most part. I don't like the what they do with Batman. He's got that Fist of the North Star, like, super bulky, like, just thick, massive everything.
You don't like that redesign?
Not really. Like, honestly, the guy that you thought in the gym that you thought was Bruce Wayne, like, I would have been happy if he was Bruce Wayne.
Right, right. Well, that's what you're used to.
Yeah, but I get what they're saying. Like, he is a lot more brutal in this one than I'm used to too. So I could see why you need that extra bulk. Other than that, like, it's not. I don't want to say it's bad. It's good. I'm assuming the villain is Black Mask. I don't think they actually name him.
Yeah, they don't name him, but it's.
I mean, he's wearing a black mask.
He is, but there are other people that wear black masks too.
He's some sort of Daft Punk.
Yeah, the redesign, it's a
Go around the
little,
world.
it's a little weird. I'm assuming like the mask has some kind of like visual element, like some Iron Man thing that he's doing in there. I don't know. It's a weird design, but yeah, I don't want to say it's bad. I'm probably criticizing it more than I should because I enjoyed it. It was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like the ones that they wear, like the crowd, the insurrectionists, for lack of a better word, they're like they look almost xenomorphy. You know, they don't look like with the black mask we're used to, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the ones that they're wearing. So, and again, like they say later, they reference there's some component, technological component to it. So you got to house the battery somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it's. I mean, they say that. I think they say that they're like ape skulls in the
Okay.
book,
Yeah.
and so it's like okay, like and I I'll tell you like I don't know off the top of my head what an ape skull looks like. So they could look like that. They could not. I don't know, but it definitely like I feel like there's more to the mask than what they've told us so far, and that gets hinted at in the book itself. So it would be interesting to see where that all goes. Like
The court of
even
eight masks.
right, exactly, right. Even the name, like they call them the party animals, and like I'm like that's interesting, and
That's a
it's
great
just like
fucking name.
yeah, no, I agree. Where I'm just like, and it's not a kind of name that like say if somebody had asked me if party animals was like a good name for like a villain group or something like that, I'd probably be like, oh, I don't think so. But when I read it in this and like how they act, I'm like, no, like that fits. Like it feels good. Feels good. Like I'm just like, man, that's crazy. Yeah. So anyway, so I know Jay, you mentioned you already that you're like you thought the art was good.
Yeah.
Look, Mo, like how do you like where would you like to see this book go? You have any thoughts in regards to like like are you hoping for something like a bit more traditional to emerge, or are you looking for something a bit more of a departure as we've seen thus far?
I think at this we're more of a departure. Like, uh, it definitely more of a departure because right off the bat, the book took any traditional thing that when you read the Elseworlds or even like we talked about First Night, like you still have some like, oh, this is just another rehashing and retelling, whereas this is almost a reinvention in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, you know what, fuck it, let's go all the way. Uh, let's go all the way to something new, something fresh that's only going to last
Yeah.
5 issues.
Is it? I mean, I know that. Like,
The
is it
chapters are
only gonna
part
last
of the
five
fight.
ish?
Yeah, I don't know how ongoing it is. It just depends how successful this line is.
Yeah,
So
because I think
that's
the
always
arc is five, but I
yeah. The
think it's
arc is
supposed to
5,
be
but
ongoing. But I don't
yeah.
know. We'll see. We'll see. So yeah, I mean, yeah, okay. Um, what else do you all want to say about Absolute Batman before we rate it? Anything else stick out? Well, like actually, while you're joking, I will
It
say this.
was.
Oh, go ahead, Jay.
I was gonna say it was awesome when Batman shot Alfred in the face.
that that was cool.
That
Like,
that sold me on it.
listen, the
Now
Batman. Oh, go ahead, heck,
No, I'm just saying, Jay sold me on it. I got to read it now.
dude. The Batman Alfred dynamic in this book is pretty amazing so far, and
I
it's definitely, like I said, a drastic departure from what we're used to.
I want to know how he gets those wonderful toys. Like he ain't got money like that. Like how is he making the suit? And we know where he gets the motorcycle, but I got questions.
Okay,
It's
that's
probably
fair.
selling meth, selling
That's
fentanyl.
what it is. That's always our go-to. Probably
Yep.
selling meth.
I hope there's a
Yeah,
comic
man.
that becomes a musical. That's what I hope for.
But what I will say is, I feel like there's a lot of little like breadcrumbs that make this like intriguing. One of which was, and I think, I don't remember if it was, I think it was you. Was it you, Oz? That, or I don't remember which one of you mentioned like Batman grew up with some of the people that we had as villains.
I probably did, because
Yeah, that was all.
that fascinated me a little bit.
Yeah, and there's a point where they show us a picture of the kids together, like a childhood picture of these people as kids, and like one of and because as adults, most of them, it seems, are still friends, and you have basically like Killer Croc talking to Bruce Wayne, like, hey, you should come by and come hang out with the crew. And he did mention Selena, and he mentions Oz, like, which Oz mentioned. And they also say Eddie, and based on the picture, I'm like, okay, that looks like Edward Nygma to me. Looks like the Riddler. But
He mentions Harley too.
Oh, does he say Harley?
Harvey, sorry, Harvey, not Harley.
Right. Harvey. Okay, right. And so, but there was one other person in the picture that I wasn't quite sure. Like, I'm like, who is that supposed to be? So I'm
you
like,
know who it is?
No, I don't.
They show him at the end. It's the Joker.
No. Why is it Joker?
Because he's
because it's always Joker.
Yeah.
No, the hunched over person wasn't actually Joker. It was the person in front of the hunched over person, right?
I don't know. They're kids. I don't look at kids that long. Like, I know that they're friends and they'll come out. They'll explain it better in the future. I'm not going to worry about it right now.
I don't think there's an extra. I'm counting right now. I don't think there's an extra person.
Well, the one that took the picture.
No, because
who do you think took the picture?
Their parents that are still alive and happy.
Like, wait, so
he mentions Eddie, Harvey, Oz, and Selena, and then he's Bruce, and the guy talking to him is Killer Croc. And that's all. There's only 6 kids.
Oh, okay. So wait, does he mention? He mentions Harvey in that moment there?
Yeah, Eddie, Harvey, Oz, and even trying to get Selena.
Yeah.
Okay. Look. Okay. So maybe I thought there was an extra kid.
Well, Eddie didn't like click in your brain, or Harvey didn't click in your brain in that moment.
Yeah, I think it was Harvey, because I remember Eddie, because I was thinking like, so was Harvey the kid in the back with the glasses?
Probably.
No, I think that's Eddie. I think Harvey is the guy with the kid with the nice hair, blonde hair, and nice haircut. I think Oswald is going to be the guy with the striped shirt, because he's kind of like hunched over. Selena is obviously the one with the cat ears,
right?
And then you have Bruce and we should probably put that picture up. I guess we're like talking about a picture no one can see.
Yeah. Put it up.
Oh, you want me to do it?
Yeah, put it up.
Like you're part of the show or something.
You got it right there in front of you. Put it up.
I said we should. I didn't say I should.
Up in Smoke 2897 says, wait a minute, wasn't Harvey Dent the Two-Face? Yes, Harvey Dent is Two-Face, indeed. Up in Smoke.
Yeah, so there's the picture.
Right. Okay.
So Harvey would be the blonde kid on the left. The shorter one, I think, is Oswald. The one with the glasses, I think that's Eddie. Then Selena, Bruce, and Waylon.
Oh, okay. Well, look, mystery solved. Good job, Oz. Yeah. So okay, cool.
So is Eddie Edward Nigma or the Clock King?
I'm assuming it's gonna be Edward
The
Nigma,
Clock
but
King
we
Nigma?
don't know.
Well, we don't see any clock hands on those glasses, so
Yeah.
probably Enigma.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's rate. Let's go ahead and rate this joint. Moses Magnum, what would you rate Absolute Batman #1?
Oh, it's a 4. A 4. Some of the changes I don't like in terms, but I'm a dude that doesn't like change. But it's not like even taking a point off is probably bad because it's not like I would do it different either, So realistically, it's a 5, but I want to read more before I really sell it as a 5. You know what I mean?
Got it. Okay. Oscore, what would you rate Absolute Batman #1?
I'm probably gonna go with 4. It's another reboot or reimagine, whatever you want to call it. But I think this one might be interesting enough to warrant checking out, at least for the first story arc. I don't know about an ongoing for this, but yeah, I'd like to see the first story arc.
Okay, cool. Jay, what would you rate Absolute Batman #1?
I would give it a 5. I just really enjoyed this book. Definitely looking more forward to reading more. And if this is the level of quality the Absolute line is at, and I'm looking forward to all of those joints.
There it is. Cool. Look, as for myself, I think I'm gonna give it a 5 too. Like, I really liked it. I feel like Batman, doing a reimagining of Batman can be hard. So we've had like a lot of different ways that people have done it, but at the end of the day, they kind of seem a bit samey. But this definitely is like a departure, but in all the right ways for me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. So hopefully the rest of the books are as good as this one. Yeah. Hecht, how you feel about the review?
I give the review a 4.
I'll
Jay
take it.
talking about Batman shooting Alfred in the face sold it for me. It sounds very that second Telltale game, the second Batman Telltale game, where Batman knows Joker. It sounds kind of derivative of that, but more expanded. And when I finally get down and read this comic, I'll say less probably.
Would it help you if I mentioned that the bullets were little tiny batarangs?
I give the review a 5.
Dude, it's so good.
Not only am I sold, I'm in.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All in.
All in.
DC all in.
I love that they brought back the old logo too, like the classic, 90s, 2000s logo, the bullet casing thing.
What do you mean?
For DC.
The DC logo on is
for DC. Got you.
It's not the peeling Band-Aid anymore.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like I know what you're talking about now. You said the logo. I thought you were talking about the Bat logo. I didn't realize you were talking about the DC logo.
I don't like that Absolute Bat logo.
Oh, wait till you see it in action.
It
turns into a battle axe.
Didn't somebody say that the more people complained, the fatter it was going to get?
That's what he said, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Listen, I'm not going to lie. Like, a moment that made me smile, and I didn't even realize that I wanted this or that I would appreciate this, was when he removes the logo and then it was yellow under it. And I was like, I like that.
Show Heck the picture.
Damn it.
Get him to be really all in.
I don't know if I have it. I'd have to.
I have it.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah, I just got it.
Because I'm just like, yeah, but I was like, dang, like, I didn't even know that I wanted it to be yellow. But I was like, you know what? I kind of appreciate that. Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's like you removed the joint and then it was yellow under it, and I was just like,
okay,
And then
now,
it's like-
now it makes sense.
So in this page, and then like above it is like a close up where he just removes the little handle tool from the belt.
yeah.
And then you just see it like, what the hell is he doing? And I know what he's doing because I saw this directly from the Scott Snyder showed this to me personally from his phone.
Right.
And I know what he's doing, and it just and then the next page he just chops the dude's hand off.
Dude, this whole sequence was like really cool. Like it was just like, I feel like if that joint happened like this in a movie, Cats would be like, it's the best Batman scene ever. You know, you know, like it's definitely like it feels like it's like along the lines of that. And this is like a much smaller version, but it was like the 80s. Like, remember when Michael Keaton like steps out and hits, like does that back fist, you know, and everyone's like, oh shit. Like, you know, it was like, it felt like that, but for like this day and age where I'm like, damn, that joint is cool as hell.
I kind of hope they put that in Pattinson Batman. I don't know how, but
they have to redesign the bat.
I mean, that's fine.
His bats are like knives, aren't they? He takes them out and cuts something with it.
Yeah,
but it's close.
It's not really a bat. It's just like a functional thing of the armor.
It could still like be like a little climbing axe, you know.
Yeah, like a little hat.
It just doesn't look like a bat, but it looks more like Nightwing's logo.
I mean, neither does this logo.
Very much looks like Nightwing.
This logo looks like a rectangle with little spikes on it.
Yeah, like an axe that's placed over your chest to protect you from bullets, and then to slay your enemies in a medieval world.
Yeah. So okay, cool. Let's talk about LA Comic-Con.
I think we're gonna have to defer that, man, because we're already running behind, and I'm losing my steam. And
okay,
if you don't mind.
No, I mean, yeah. Listen, I understand. Like you've had a day, friend. You've had a day.
And I get to prepare the footage too that we shot and the teaser for the videos we're
okay. We'll defer it to next week then. Let's do some final thoughts.
Bum, 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 bum.
There it is. Act. Give us some final thoughts, buddy.
Hey, if you got to go into a rehab facility for some kind of bodily function, make sure they have good food, because that'll come in handy.
Indeed. All right, Jay, give us some final thoughts.
If you're new to the show, welcome. We're glad to have you. We respect and value your time and opinions. Coming here to converse with us. Thank you. Please come again.
All right. Cool. Oscor, final thoughts.
There's a new Hellboy movie out. There's Superman and Lois. The final season is out already. There's a lot to cover over the next few weeks. So join us, and we'll do our best to dissect these performances, these artistic whatever ado.
Magnum, final thoughts.
Again, same deal. We got Comic-Con content coming from LA Comic-Con. A couple interviews, a couple demonstrations for some upcoming games, and all around fun. So again, if you like, subscribe, hit the bell, you can get to see it.
There it is. For the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you taking your time and chilling with us. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you'd like to see more of. We want to hear all that. And we'll be back next week. So until then, we're the Fantastic Forum. Good night.